Hi everybody, welcome. Chapter 3 is called Sensation and Perception, and it picks up directly from the end of our previous chapter on biology and behavior, discussing the behind-the-scenes physiology that makes up human psychology. Recall, the nervous system collects information from our sensory organs and passes on that information to our brain for processing. In this chapter, we focus on that next step of where we try to understand all of this incoming sensory information. So first thing in this chapter, we want to distinguish between sensation and perception. Sensation is sensing. That is, this is the senses picking up visual, auditory, and other sensory stimuli, and then the nervous system passes that information on to the brain. Sensation is sensing. Perception is interpreting. That is, this is the brain receiving and interpreting all of this incoming sensory information that you are hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and what am I forgetting? Seeing, yeah. The brain has to actively organize and interpret what is what. But this is what gets interesting. I mean, perception is where people get interesting. Psychologists know that people can interpret the same incoming sensory information in different ways because we always use our past experience to understand present-day events that are happening in front of us. And because past experience can be vastly different for different people, it's common for two people to observe the same event or to hear the same comment and have very different perceptions of what is happening or what is being said or what was intended in choice of words or tone of voice. Perception is where human relationships get interesting because this is where people can misunderstand by making assumptions or by relying on past personal history or even by selective attention to some information and not others. Because perception is so personal and so unique to the individual, we can get miscommunications and misunderstandings that can even lead to hurt feelings. We'll discover later in the semester that perception really reflects individual personality. That's a whole separate chapter. Fascinating stuff. Finally, in this chapter, we briefly review arguably the most important sensory organs: vision, touch, and space orientation senses. Vision is arguably the most important of the human senses because we take in a great deal of information this way. Information about, as we learn about our surroundings, we carefully watch other people's behavior, and we compare ourselves when learning about norms of behavior or local cultural practices around us. These all contribute in important ways to what we collectively call human experience. So Chapter 2 on biology and Chapter 3 on perception together discuss the behind-the-scenes physiology of what makes up human psychology. Our whole mental life, feelings, and emotions truly originates in these underlying processes. Really fascinating stuff, again, here in Chapter 3 called Sensation and Perception. Let's get started.